All right, next topic. Amara La Negra. She was on the Breakfast Club. If you all don't know, we've talked about Amara before. She's Afro-Latina artist of Dominican descent. And she talked colorism. She's also on Love and Hip Hop Miami this season. And also trying to break into the music industry in the States. She mentioned that she is popular in the Dominican Republic and in Latin America, but she now wants to sing music in English. Everyone is upset with the interview, though, because Charlamagne and DJ Envy was confused about how it was colorism in Latin America, and they even went to explain how black women of color are popping, and even someone of Dominican descent as well, who's a black woman, which is Cardi B, we all know. And so DJ Envy, he posed the question. He was like, do you think Cardi B is popping because she's light-skinned? He asked Amara that. Amara, she kind of like gave the gesture like, okay. She didn't say anything, but she looked like nigga, of course. You know what I'm saying? And it led to Hennessy mention on Instagram, and I'm going to read what she said verbatim. That on Instagram was, okay, I like her. She's obviously beautiful. This is the same message my sister been trying to spread for a while now. But it doesn't count because she's not so dark. What I don't like is that they asked her if she feels that Cardi made it because she's lighter skinned, and she made a face basically insinuating, yes, people fuck with Cardi because of who she is, not because she's light-skinned. I think that's what Charlamagne is trying to say. A girl from her same country with the same hair, in braids from the hood, that has become a stripper because it was hard for her to find a job because of her hair and color. People like her because she doesn't sugarcoat skin. She doesn't sugarcoat shit. That's why people like her. That's why people like her, not because she's light-skinned, just like the same reason people are liking you. Not only because you're dark, but you seem like a talented sweetheart. You auditioned for a Latin soap opera and got denied, not Cardi. So don't say they accepted her now because she's light, because she's not in a soap opera. She got the talent to rap in English and in Spanish, not because she's light-skinned. Not only do we have to hear from hip-hop community that we're not dark enough, but we got to hear it from a girl from our same country. Oh, God, we're Trinidadian Dominican. My sister has your same hair, honey, to the T. Spread the message and do what you got to do. But to basically say Cardi got everyone because she's light, it's ridiculous. Because everyone's seen the struggle, and that being said, we are all black. Every Caribbean country had slave owners. Some were French. I want to say she's saying where, but I'm hoping that she meant were. Some were Spaniard, some British, etc. They mix with Africans and Indians, and we are woke, and we're fighting for the same rights, girls. So please, I understand the message. She's darker tone, but don't say she's where she's at because she's light-skinned. She also came back, and after she got like a lot of backlash from her Instagram post, she said, I support your movement so much, and we love to see a Dominican woman make it and represent. I just didn't appreciate the gesture when you was asked if my sister made it because she is light-skinned. We should not make issues between minority women, light to dark brown, because we all have to fight and work just as hard from light to dark skin brown. We are all brown. Doesn't matter the levels of brown. We are to experience colorism. Consider the same to them, and we have to prove ourselves. Why? Because division and not stand for all between our own. Also, there Lazo, who's Cuban, Afro-Cuban, and he also kind of checked Charlamagne. Charlamagne ended up saying that they had a conversation, and he explained everything to him. And he also said I was listening to Brilliant Idiots podcast actually before we got on air, he said what he took from it was he didn't realize that they were having a conversation about colorism in Latin America or colorism in entertainment, because he was saying that black women of all descents are making like strides, you know, and that's why he was saying like Issa Rae, because people were like, why are you naming black American women? Like, we're talking about black women in Latin America. And he was saying, like, Issa Rae's popping, and he said Cardi B, and that was the whole thing with the light skin. So he said he was just kind of confused about what she was saying, and her whole statements were conflicting, and that he's going to continue to ask questions if he doesn't understand the issues. But it's really interesting, you know, and I feel like it's always a huge topic of conversation when it comes to you know, black people in Latin America. It's a very sensitive conversation. What did you take from it, Miss Angel Vondrina?
I think Hennessy, she's a little sensitive when it comes down to her sister, but I definitely understand where she comes from when she says certain things like, you know, we are all black, you know, back in the days we all would have been slaves, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, don't say like, you know, my sister made it because she light-skinned, but at the end of the day, you know, everybody loves Cardi's personality and stuff, but I really do feel like if Cardi B, she had a darker tone, she probably would not be as popping, as you know, silly as that may sound, you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like that is the truth. So I do hear where, you know, Amara is coming from when she said that. And I don't think Hennessy, she should have took that out of context because, you know, it's kind of true. You know, it's just like, well, you know, actually, you know, if she was a little, you know, she was Amara color, people, they wouldn't have been like, you know, they would have been tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, woo, 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 you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I felt like she was trying to, you know, like be smart, you know, like the French, the British, woo, 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 but it's just like, okay. And so people that you said she received a lot of backlash. People was just like, you know, like mad at her for going after Amara.
People were just upset in general because what they were saying is that people are acting confused like they've never heard. That's Afro-Latinos. Like, it's people all the time. For whatever reason, they have a hard time believing that black people cannot be from Latin America, even though that is part of the Caribbean. The Dominican Republic shares the same island as Haiti. You know, it's just a river. Like, they're literally all the same fucking people. You know, but for whatever reason, it's just like in Americans' mind, and even with some Hispanics that are you know, second and third generation, you know, they have issues with black people being from, you know, Latin American countries. You know, they want to ask you. You can sit there and look like a typical Mexican. You know, you say you're Mexican, people ain't questioning you. But if you look black, they're like, oh, do you speak Spanish? You know, you're like, no, barely. They don't believe your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it is I mean, it's a tough conversation, you know, and I do agree with, if Cardi was dark-skinned, I don't know if she would be as popular. Like, she is very talented. She is, you know what I'm saying, she does have a great personality, but we have to keep it real. Like, right now, we have, you know, well, Sis was popping and she's dark-skinned. But, you know, we have, like, I was just talking, we have the Justine Skye. In my opinion, I feel like she's super adorable, you know, even though she's Cooley. And, you know, and Cooley are, you know, Jamaicans who are of African and Indian descent. She's still a dark-skinned woman, you know, and, you know, in my opinion, I feel like, I talked about last week on the show, and I feel like if she was a light-skinned girl making that same music, I do feel like she would be more popular. Like, I do feel like people would beat up her ass a little bit more. Same thing with, what's the girl, Seven Streeter. You know, I feel like Seven Streeter is super underrated, and I feel like partly it's because of her skin complexion. And in all honesty, and I feel like a lot of times light-skinned people, unless they have, you know, people around them that are dark-skinned, then they don't really understand that whole colorism complex. They're like, wait a minute, like, we are all still black, like, you know, Hennessy was saying, because I've heard that a million times. Same thing with Angela Rye. Like, you know what I'm saying? I listened to Angela Rye's podcast, and she said stuff about, like, you know, I'm not trying to hit that light-skin, dark-skin complex because we all black. And it's just like, yeah, I mean,
you don't want to hear it, but that shit is real as fuck. That shit is so real. Like, motherfuckers, they really do think that they better out here. Like,
so people think that they're better. You are invited to certain rooms because you are more approachable. You're easier to deal with than somebody that is dark-skinned. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they do look at you at the end of the day as black, but at the same time, you do get more, you know, advance more opportunities because of your complexion. That's just real. That is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, even if, and I'm talking about this all the time, even my own family. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad, as far as on his side of the family, he's the only dark-skinned one. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, before my dad, they didn't fuck with dark-skinned people, but when they had my dad, he became the favorite because they said that he was the most beautiful dark-skinned person they seen. So we've never really dealt with, you know what I'm saying? And I'll say I have a good mother. So it's just like, even though we're all brown-skinned and we do, you know, vary in ranges and shades, we never really dealt with colorism in our own immediate families, but definitely on the outside. you know what I'm saying, people look at you and it's like, because we have curly hair, or we dark skin, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers want to have all these questions or whatever, but it's just like, niggas, I didn't lost track, but but it's just like, it's just so annoying having the same damn conversation every fucking week. Like, let the girl live. If she's telling her story and that's her truth and that's something that she's went through and she feels that, then you cannot tell her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting tired of men trying to tell a black woman how to feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? If she feels like this is something that she's went through in her own personal life, and she knows for a fact she went to audition for a fucking telenovela, and they told her straight up that she's too dark, and if they needed somebody that was more stereotypical bad person, then they would give her a call, then that is what it is. How do you think that makes her fucking feel? And the fact that Charlamagne, and I can see DJ Envy having that, because DJ Envy looks like he comes from a family that's everybody light-skinned, like his mom and daddy's grandparents. Mm-hmm. So he probably may not know, like, you know what I'm saying, like those struggles. But Charlamagne, nigga, like, you used to be black as hell. You still dark-skinned now. So it's just like, how can you sit here and act like you confused, like you don't really know what it's like to be, for people to call your ass ugly or to feel a certain way about you because of your complexion? Like, it's bullshit. You know, and it's just like, part of me, I felt like maybe he wanted to, you know, portray that because he feels like he doesn't want to continue that whole stereotype of how people view black women and that we are making strides as a people. But it was just like how he went about it was just ignorant. Like, you know, it's true. Colorism is real. I feel like we are getting past it.
Not, but you know that's not even ignorant, because Charlamagne knows that, like you said, you bleach your skin so you won't be as black, you know, as you were. So you knew you were black as a mother.
Well, it wasn't.
You know.
Well, it was. I'm not going to say that he bleached his skin to be. I'm not going to say that he bleached his skin to be light skinned. He bleached it because he had color problems, but the majority of his face was black.
Okay, well, whatever. He bleached it because he had skin problems. Okay, we'll just say that for the sake of Charla, you know. But like, you still at the end of the day, you know what it feels like to be dark, and you know what it feels like to not be as attractive. And I'm not trying to say, like, dark people aren't attractive. By no means. They are fucking beautiful. But I'm just saying that you've had, you know, these complex issues, you know, the skin probably more than one tone. So you know how it feels, you know what I'm saying? And you tried to rectify that however way you chose to. So don't sit up there and act like you don't know what she's going through or how hard it took her. What, you got fired 4 times? You really think that it was just because you were doing a bad job? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure colorism had a lot to do with that too, even with me at my job. You know, it's interesting because I am the only black person. I'm a pretty dark woman, I feel like. You know, I'm like caramel, you know, like maybe a little bit dark, couple darker shades than caramel. And it's just really interesting to see, like, how people they treat, because I feel like if a light-skinned chick came to my job at work, she would definitely get better treatment than me. You know what I'm saying? But they know me longer, so it would be interesting. You know what I'm saying? But she'd probably be more approachable. I don't really know. It'd be interesting, you know, but yeah, that shit is still real, no matter where it's at. So, all right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic if Jen doesn't have anything else to add to this.
No, stop with the bullshit. I don't. I just want to say, just stop with the bullshit. Like, there's black people everywhere. You know, we gonna stop acting like the only story is black people in the United States. There are millions of black people around the world. We are the first. You know, and Africans were the first people. So you can't be dumb and just think that we only are in Jamaica and in Africa and in New York City. Like, we're everywhere, okay? So open your mind, open your horizon. And then also, it's just like the whole colorism thing. Like, stop being dismissive of another person's story. If they really feel this way, even if you don't understand it, you have to be empathetic. But that's it.
I like it. All right, y'all, we're going to move on to our next